What's up, everybody? My name's Brandon, aka Brandon, and this is my mini book chat vlog number 1, I think. Alright, let's get into it. So, I chose the book Ranger's Apprentice. It's by an author named John Flanagan. Here it is. And this book, for me, has everything that I love. It has intense moments. It's fantasy. It has, there's fight scenes. There's comedy. There's intense sarcasm. Just everything about it I love, and I fell in love with the book. And it's a great series. There's 12 books in the series. Very good series. Highly recommended if you like this sort of thing. Let me go ahead and read this cover here. Do a little taste. They have always scared him in the past. The Rangers, with their dark clothes and mysterious ways. Folks in the village claim that Rangers have a power to become invisible at will, a skill that Will would now dearly love to have. Will's heart has been set on battle school, on becoming a hero to the kingdom. But Will is small for his 15 years, too small to be a warrior. He possesses other skills, though, a ranger's skills. He can move silent as a shadow, he can climb, he is brave. He will need all these skills and more. For Morgoth, Lord of the Mountains of Rain and Night, is gathering his forces. A battle for the kingdom is destined to begin. A battle the likes of which Will cannot even imagine. Everything in this book, the characters, to me it's just so well written. John Flanagan, the way that he can, write a story when you're reading it, it flows really nicely. It's kind of like swimming in a swimming pool of melted butter. I shouldn't have said that. Forget that. I regret nothing. However, what I like about this book is the characters in it. He's very good at writing his characters, and through the progression of not only this book but the progression series, there's definitely true character development with all of the characters. It's plainly there, and it's good to see how they all kind of mesh together and gel together. The kind of the story behind it is this is kind of like a Middle Ages type book, but not really set. It's set in a fantasy world, and they're from the kingdom of Arlen, which has different, subletted out to different territories, and there's barons of each territory, and they're part of the territory. And everyone, when you turn a certain age, you find out what your job is. Kind of like, the book The Giver. And Will has always wanted to go to battle school because he believes that's what his dad, was. He believes his dad was a great warrior, and that's all he's ever dreamed to be. However, for being 15 years old, he's very small for his age. And this caused a lot of problems. He's bullied. So he's kind of like the runt of the litter. And then you have Horace, who's kind of like the jock. He's the big guy. He's built for that kind of thing, and he kind of becomes the bully. And then you have Arliss, which is like the intelligent one, and she goes on to be high up in the kingdom for doing diplomatic stuff. And then you have Jenny, who's very outspoken, and she wants to be like a cook. And so all these different characters. It's kind of like the Breakfast Club, and it's just the whole book from back to finish. It's not a hard read, but it grabs me, and I couldn't put it down. So let's get right into it. Let me read this intense moment of the book. Are you ready for this? Because hold on to something. This is going to be scary. Kind of a little backstory on this. This is Will is a ranger's apprentice, and the rangers are kind of like they're kind of over the barons but under the king, and they kind of police all the different areas. So he's a ranger's apprentice, and they're hunting this giant boar, and it doesn't go so well. So let's see, where should I start here? I'll just go here. Screaming in fury, the huge animal spun on his tracks, skidding in the snow, and came at him again. This time it came more slowly, giving Will no chance to dart to one side at the last moment. The boar came to a trot, fury in its red eyes. Tusks slashing from side to side, its hot breath steaming in the freezing winter air. Behind him, Will could hear shouts of the hunters, but he knew they'd arrived too late to help him. He knocked another arrow, knowing that he had no chance of hitting a vital spot as the pig came at him head on. Then there was a thud of muffed hooves on the snow, and a small, shaggy shape was driving towards the furious monster. "No, Tug!" Will screamed in agony for fear of his horse, but the pony charged at the huge boar, spinning in his tracks and lashing out with his rear hooves as he came within range. Tug's rear hooves caught the pig in the ribs, and with the force of the pony's upper legs behind him, sent the boar rolling sideways in the snow. The boar was up in an instant, even more furious than before. The pony had caught him off balance, but the kick had done no serious damage. Now the boar slashed and cut as Tug, as the little pony neighed in fear and danced sideways out of the reach of the razor-sharp tusks. "Tug, get clear!" Will screamed again. His heart was in his throat. If those tugs caught the vulnerable tendons of the horse's lower legs, Tug would be crippled for life. He couldn't stand by and watch his horse put himself in such peril for his master. He drew and fired again, dragging the long ranger knife from his belt, charged across the snow at the huge, furious beast. The third arrow struck the pig in his side. Again, he had missed a vulnerable spot and only wounded the monster. He yelled at it as he ran, screaming for Tug to get clear. The boar saw him coming, recognizing the small figure that had first driven him to such fury, its red, hate-filled eyes fast upon him, and his head lowered for a final killing charge. Will saw the muscles bunch in the massive hiding corners. He was too far to cover to run. He would have to face the charge here in the open. He dropped to one knee and hopelessly held out the keen-bladed ranger knife in front of him as the boar charged. Dimly he heard the horse's hoarse cry as the apprentice warrior charged forward to help him, his spear at the ready. Then a deep, whistling hiss cut across the sound of the boar's hooves, followed by a solid, meaty smack. The boar reared up in mid-stride, twisted in sudden agony, and fell, dead as a stone in the snow. Halt's heavy-shafted long arrow was almost buried in its side, driven there by the full power of the ranger's mighty longbow. He struck the charging monster right behind the left shoulder, driving the head of the arrow into and through the pig's massive heart. A perfect shot. Halt reined in Albard in a shower of snow and hurled himself to the ground, throwing his arms around the shaking boy. Will, overcome with relief, buried his face in the rough cloth of the ranger's cloak. He didn't want anyone to see the tears of relief that were streaming down his face. Gently, Halt took the knife from Will's hand. "What on earth were you hoping to do with this?" he asked. Will simply shook his head. He couldn't speak. He felt Tug's soft muzzle butting gently against him and looked up into the big, intelligent eyes. I'll stop there. But that, I'm sweating in here. Not really, but I mean, it just the way that he is by himself in his first hunt and stuff. I mean, it's just I don't know, something about it. But how does this book relate to me? A little bit of backstory in the book. John Flanagan, he wrote the book for his son Michael to encourage him to read. He wanted him to get into reading and found it quite difficult for his son to find a book that he wanted to read. Will was based on his son Michael. He made that character and shared some of his physical attributes, including a small stature and agile movement. Most importantly, Flanagan wanted to show that his son that there was an advantage to being small, and not all heroes have to be tall and muscular. So it kind of sends a good message to me, because when I was growing up, I was always the small one, and had the disadvantages in sports and everything. So this book really spoke to me that, that you're being small in size, you can use that to your advantage. And definitely through this series, Will becomes one of the most famous Rangers in the history of the Rangers. And a lot of it's basically due to his size. So while he didn't get to go on to battle school like he wanted to, he was able to become one of the best known Rangers, and practically saves everybody. And it's just a really good series, and the way the characters come together, I'd highly recommend it. And yeah, that's it for my mini chat blog one thing. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore, so I'm gonna shut up. Y'all have a great night, and thanks for watching. If you made it to the end of this video, you will win a prize. I'm just joking. I shouldn't have said that either, because I don't have a prize. But thanks for watching, and we will see you in the future. Bye.